Got took it out. Got took it out. Took it up. Took it up.
Hey, what are you gonna do? You're taking this very personal. This is business, and this man is taking it very, very personal.
Took it up. Took it up.
Anti-Afro Spingallis, Plum tuckered out. Umar Johnson got Plum tuckered out. Thankfully, Plum Fund responded to the mass influx of complaints about Umar Johnson. Let me explain to you what occurred. Umar Johnson started posting these fraudulent advertisements, Bagaramas, Bake Fest for more money, and he was using Plum Fund, which is a crowdfunding entity. So many of you got on the horn. Thank yourselves. Thank each other for doing this because it made a big difference. Obviously, Plum Fund took action and started reversing the donations. That's based on, I'm not basing it on what Umar Johnson says, I'm basing it on several comments that were posted online saying my donations were sent back. And I don't want to neglect to mention those who sent in the childish memes, the comments people were making online about their donations getting yanked, about Umar Johnson whining and crying. Because I can't stand going over to any of his social media platforms. This is nothing but a bunch of fraud, crime, and deceit. So I do appreciate all of you out there who have emailed me information and posted links in the comments section. There are some things that we need to get straight, people, surrounding this whole garbage about Umar Johnson somehow thinking that he has a right to beg for, expect, and receive money from people just because they are black. So, in order for me to set that up, I have to first explain to you, for those possibly who don't see it, and I guess I have to remind everyone else exactly what Umar Johnson is all about and why Plum Fund was 100% justified in kicking Umar Johnson to the curb, because they know the campaign for a phony school was 100% bogus. It didn't take long. You have to keep in mind Umar Johnson trying very hard to be cagey about his intentions when it comes to Plum Fund. Plum Fund is 100% white, founded, owned, managed, operated, etc. Yet Umar Johnson thinks he's going to be able to post messages referring to how much he hates Whitey, or the white man. This is Umar Johnson talking. If you hate them so much, how are you using their campaign to steal money from black people? If you really cared about your people and you don't like white folks, why are you using their campaign to raise money and furthermore getting upset because they kick you to the curb? This just tells you all around that Umar Johnson is bad news. He doesn't have a moral, upstanding fiber in his whole being that you can get up here, especially, look at the deceit here. With the first fraudulent campaign with GoFundMe, he's all Afrocentric, Pan-Africanism this, Prince of Pan-Africanism that, with black folks here, black folks there. Hey, what happened? What happened with Plum Fund? Mr. Pro-Africa, Mr. Pro-Black, Mr. Pro-Conscious has white hands on the campaign advertisement. Why did he do that? Because he was trying to trick the white people into allowing him to use their platform to abuse other black people, but it did not work. Must we be reminded exactly how Umar Johnson says he feels about white people?
So many black folk running around defending white people. Well, it's not all of them. How do you know? Have you met all of them? Well, Dr. Dr. Umar, it's not always about the white man. You're right. It's about the white man, the white woman, the white child, the white grandma, the white institution, the white church, and everything else. It's about all of them. It's about all of them.
When Plum Fund gets this information, and here's the clip, you think they're going to want Umar Johnson anywhere near anything they have anything to do with? Obviously not. And that's only common sense. Oh my God, this dude, he is so desperate in his intentions when it comes to ripping off specifically black people that it doesn't matter what vehicle he uses to achieve the goal. But the goal is getting more and more remote, more and more difficult to access. All the lines of ripping off black people are being shut down because let's face it, people, how many people are going to sit here and go to stand in line and get a money order or write a check to Umar Johnson? And if they write a check, by the time he gets the check, I can tell you this much, if people are struggling, because he targets poor black folks, if they write a check and put it in the mail to Umar Johnson, say for $50, I'm just making up any amount. After that check is mailed, there becomes a time to get food for your children. You need to go pick up some medication. You want to go to the casino. You want to drink a beer. You want to buy candy. Whatever the hell you want to do with your money, do you think those people are going to leave that $50 in there or that $10 in there and let Umar Johnson's check clear? No, I can guarantee you he has plenty of checks that were bounced. And I don't believe people are going to go through the trouble to send a money order. If that was working, he never would have come to Plum Fund. He never would have sought Plum Fund out. And picking out Umar Johnson's hypocrisy, Plum Fund obviously, like GoFundMe did, received complaints and decided to suspend the campaign. Umar Johnson had all the time in the world to wait with GoFundMe because he knew he already got several $100,000. So if they're saying we're going to suspend the campaign to see what we need to find out, or you need to give us information, Umar Johnson wasn't going to give that up. So he let it go. He wrote it out, and GoFundMe reinstated the campaign. I think it was 2 times before finally shutting it down. Here, Umar Johnson's desperation would not allow him to wait for Plum Fund to make a decision because he knows Plum Fund would get the information immediately, especially calling himself a charity when the nonprofit is revoked. FDMG Umar Johnson nonprofit was revoked, people. Don't forget it. I want to focus on what you see on the screen here for a second. Okay, if you go down and you see the yellow highlight and you see this dark blue arrow, this apparently was presented as a comment that Umar Johnson posted on one of his Scamorama websites. And the comment reads, "You reversed donations even without speaking with me. I have lost all confidence in your company." Okay, these are white people. When did Umar Johnson ever have confidence in white people? The answer is always because he's a fraud. And all of the nonsense that he spews about the white devil, the white folks this, the white folks are the cause of all our problems. We don't need the white folks. You shouldn't be spending money on white man's all the garbage that you hear Umar Johnson spewing for the specific purpose of getting black folks riled up with these buzzwords and buzz phrases are only designed for a quick money grab. That's all it's for. So the answer is Umar Johnson always depends on the white man, and he's showing you right now what a hypocrite he is. How many people out there are talking about how they aren't going to trust the white man? They have nothing to say to the white man. They won't engage in any business with the white man, but they're, using cell phones. They're buying cars. They're buying white man's food because this type of rhetoric is nonsensical if you don't have a backup plan that you are implementing. This may be fantasy in some people's minds, but it is not reality. If you really felt that way, people, you wouldn't be using anything that was made, controlled, or managed by the quote white man. This is just another ploy and another scheme that Umar Johnson continues to try to regenerate, because in his mind it was successful in terms of bringing in money, but it's now an epic fail. People are not biting. People know the deal. And I want to make sure it's clear. Pockets of people who continue to give Umar Johnson $5 and $10 is not considered success. That's run its course. The scam is old as the hills. He can't get another online campaign going. No one is going to allow Umar Johnson to do what he did before. He thought it was going to be easy, quick, clean, and neat. And what a big, fat, freaking mess everything is now for Umar Johnson. And it needs to be a mess for Umar Johnson because of what he has been doing to people. No one is doing anything to Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson has done this to himself. It is absolutely ridiculous for people to sit here and say, we're causing Umar Johnson problems because we won't stay silent because of his fraudulent criminal behavior. You need your head seriously examined if you really think people are in the wrong for speaking up against fraud and injustice perpetrated against our people by Umar Johnson or anybody who uses this anti-white supremacy platform bullshit, because that's exactly what it is, people. It's only designed to line the pockets of the black folks who are using affinity fraud and these buzzwords and buzz phrases. When they get up in front of a group of people or float a ideology, people expect the person that's making these statements to stand by it. That's why they're contributing money. But look what you have here with Umar Johnson. I'm proving to you what a scam Umar Johnson is. Now, go back up here where the question is posed. This is what he's posted. Are you sure you want to close your account? Closing your account will unpublish your Plum fund and you will no longer be able to access your contributions page. This is just a simple form letter that's generated before Plum Fund officially closes down the account. They can put an account on hold, and if you close it before they decide to kick you to the curb officially, obviously it's going to generate this form letter. It is absolutely clear to a blind person that Plum Fund put a hold on the donations. That's the bottom line, because of the complaints, because of the truth that was being dispersed about what Umar Johnson is up to. And if you see on the side here, you have some comments. Someone writes, according to the Plum Fund TOS, much like Cash App, they have the right to reverse donations and close accounts without ever notifying the users of said accounts. This is why it's important to read the terms and conditions before signing up for anything. Someone else puts, always something going on with the donations. It's ridiculous, people. And people were making it very clear that Umar Johnson was erasing comments, and many of you sent me these comments. And I probably put a video together to music and post those comments, because I hear he was trying to get those comments, the truthful comments, erased faster than the speed of light. But with Ann McMonster McMillan no longer being around, that wasn't possible. So here you have it, people. You see the hypocrisy. I will never stop pointing it out. The only question we have to answer now, who is Umar Johnson going to threaten to kill this time? See, all these tactics that he used, he thinks not only he can scare people away, he thinks he can actually control what we say and do. And we are proving it very, very clearly, very decisively. Umar Johnson does not control what any of us do. We are going to continue to post videos. We're going to continue to make everybody aware. We are going to let everyone know exactly what is going on with Umar Johnson and his fraud. This is something that Umar Johnson created. We didn't create the problem. Umar Johnson created the problem. So if he wants to sit around here and continue to blame people for his own criminal behavior, Umar Johnson can do that. We are not going to accept what Umar Johnson is trying to put on us. He's the one that started the fraudulent scam that he can't extricate himself like a cornered rat. And that is Umar Johnson's one and only problem. In the meantime, keep the videos coming. Keep the notifications coming. Don't hesitate to send me the screenshots, the pictures, the emails. I can't get enough of it. I'm going to be posting the information. Get ready. Gear up for the holidays because Umar Johnson is going to try to find yet another scheme. I posted my first video giving you an intro about the Breakfast Club and one strategy. Challenge the Breakfast Club to run them numbers on Umar Johnson. I'll go into detail more in my next video. In the meantime, do not for a second consider letting up on this campaign, this freedom fighting anti-fraud warrior campaign against FDMG / Umar Johnson, again, who are one and the same, a comprehensive fraud. Fire. Beware.